today we're going to start with our feet. So you're going to stand with your feet shoulder width apart, knees relaxed. I like to do this barefoot so that you can really pay attention to what's going on down there. And you're going to lift just your big toes and lower. Just your big toes up and lower. So sometimes this takes a little bit of mind-body connection. Sometimes it's just practice over and over and over again. Sometimes you need to get down there and pull them up a little bit and give them a little stretch out. Okay, so we're going to do a couple more there. And now we're going to push our big toes into the floor and we're going to try to lift all the rest of our toes. Now the trick here is to not let our whole legs roll inward. So everything else is going to stay in alignment, just our big toe pushing into the floor, all the other toes lifting up. Good. Now we're going to try to scrunch our toes on the floor and feel like we're lifting the arches of our feet off the floor. And then spread them wide. Okay? Scrunch and release. So why are we starting with our feet today? Because they ground us, right? We're on our feet all day, every day. They support our weight. They support our movement. And oftentimes we don't give our feet enough time and attention and love. So we're going to focus on feet first today. So keep scrunching and releasing. Good. Now we're going to rock up onto the balls of your feet. So lifting your heels and come down and lift all your toes and lower up onto the balls of your feet. And then lift up all your toes. 2 more times. Up. And lift those toes. And there's our last one. Keep those knees relaxed and we're going to shift our weight over to one foot and across to the other. So we're trying to get a little bit of lateral movement happening in our ankles. Good, 1 more each side. Nice, now we're going to bring our feet together. We're going to let our knees bend and we're going to circle the knees around. So now we're moving our legs within the joint of our ankles. So if you think about your feet staying still and your shins and knees doing the circles, other direction. Again, just moving our way up the body, getting some range of motion happening there. Nice, now you're going to take your feet apart and we're going to move up to our hips. We're going to circle our hips all the way around. So for this one, our chest stays up tall and the movement happens from our pelvis. Another direction. Good. And then pause here. We're going to take one arm up in the air and we're going to reach up and over and back down. Now, doing this with our feet apart helps us stay a little bit more secure and grounded. If you want a little bit more of a stretch and you feel okay with it, you can bring feet together. If you stay balanced there, we'll give you a little bit more of a little side stretch, opening up that space between your ribs and your hips. And we'll switch sides. So again, either feet apart as you go, or bring those feet together for a little extra stretch. Good, last one. Now we're going to take our feet apart for this one. Our knees are going to stay bent. Think about holding your navel to your spine a little bit here, and we're going to take arms into our chest, rotate and open. Into our chest, rotate and open. So we're spiraling from the ribs. Use your breath, exhale as you twist. We're going to keep going here. This time we're going to let our foot pivot with us. So the leg we're twisting towards is going to stay stable and the other one's going to rotate. Pivot those feet. So the heel comes off the floor in order for the spiral to come all the way up through all our joints. So we're not locking those knees in, we're rotating all the way up. And back to center. You're going to take one hand onto your shoulder. Your elbow is going to be your lead. You're going to come up and around and down. Now your shoulder is allowed to twist with you. So you're circling the arm, but your chest and shoulder are allowed to rotate, ribs 2 And last one, other side, up and back. So let the rib cage rotate with you. And last one. Good. Now we're going to think about just our head, turning side to side. Take your time, go at your own speed. There's no rush when we're doing mobility work. And we're stopping all of our range of motion where our body naturally wants to stop. So we're not going to push through any pain. We're not going to force any movement. We're just going to let it happen naturally. And then back to center. Now we're going to go for a little roll down. So our knees are relaxed. We're going to start with our chin to our chest. Then our upper back and shoulders are going to round. We're going to pull our tummy in and let our ribs round. Then our lower back. Our pelvis is allowed to go out the back door as we continue all the way till we're hanging upside down. And we're just going to let our head relax, our arms relax. Take a couple breaths there. Then we're going to let our knees bend again. Tuck the tailbone under. And we'll slowly roll up. One vertebrae at a time. Take your feet a little bit wider apart. Arms reach up. Knees are relaxed. And we come down to the floor. All the way up and down to the floor. So just letting our body naturally go through this range of motion. If you can't reach all the way to the floor, that's okay. Stop wherever you need to. Again, make sure those knees are not locked. And you don't need to think too much about rounding through your spine this time. Just let it happen normally, but hold your tummy in to support your back as you go. Now we're going to take it over to one foot. So one side, up in the center, other side, up in the center. One more each leg. And all the way up. And we're going to come down onto one knee. Other leg in front. So we're looking at about 90 degrees on each leg. Okay? And then we're going to take the same arm as your back leg up into the air. And we're going to squeeze our bum cheek on that side. So we're going to squeeze it and feel our hip flexor in the front starting to open. And then let it relax. So you're not going to see a lot of movement. We're just squeezing our muscle. And then let it go. So this is a very gentle way to open our hip flexors. And one more. And release. Let's switch sides. And the arm comes up. So again, thinking nice long line from our knee all the way up to our fingertips. And we're just squeezing our bum on that back side. Everything else stays steady. 2 to go. And then you can release. We're going to take both knees down, a little bit wider, and hands can walk out in front of you. Let me turn this way so you can see better. And then we're going to sit back into our shell stretch, and then we're going to rock gently forward onto our hands. So just taking the pressure off our knees. Back into our shell stretch, and control it forward. Couple more. So now we're going to have toes tucked under, and we'll come up into a downward dog position. So heels press into the floor, our chest is pushing through, and gently forward. Press back, and gently forward. 2 more. Just stretching out our calves and our hamstrings and opening up the chest and shoulders. And then you can slowly let your knees bend, walk your hands back to your feet. And then we will slowly roll up through our spine. So that is your mobility work for today, or you can use it as your warm-up. Have a great day, guys.